Welcome back to You Don't Scare Me. My name is Karis, your host on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, all of October. Going forward, though, just Mondays and Fridays. I hope you're excited to be here with me, as I am excited to have this coffee in my hand, which is quite bitter, if I'm being real, if I'm being honest with you. So in the vein of what I usually do, where I show you a cool thing at the beginning of each of the episodes, check out my Gandalf pipe. That's cool. That's cool. I don't smoke, but if I did, I would look super wise. Super wise. All right. Well, anyway, you're not here for that. You're here for some ghost videos. If my eyes look weird, I am trying a new software that's making it so that I'm actually looking at the camera, even if I'm looking up here or over here. It might work, it might not work. But hey, whatever. I'm trying to make this more engaging for you in case I do the thing where I usually look down when I talk because I have a touch of autisms. Anyway, let's get started.
This woman always knew there was something else sharing her home besides her dogs. They would bark towards nothingness so frantically, she thought they were intruders.
Yeah, dogs just bark at random things. There's actually no provocation for it. Sometimes they'll bark at like the shadows on the wall. Sometimes they bark at their own tails. Maybe they're barking at their toy. Maybe they're barking at a smell they can smell wafting into your house from like, you know, across the street or down the hall. I don't know. It's there's no crazy rhyme or reason to why a dog barks. They're not as smart as they used to be.
But no matter how many times she went out to investigate, no one was there. One night, though, she realized that those intruders she suspected might not be quite human. Take a look.
I am wet with anticipation.
My door just keeps opening by itself. Watch, here, look. Nobody. Nobody in this house. Nobody. Now watch. Look, let me close this door. Watch. 3, 2. Oh, heck no. No. Okay, God. Look. Nothing. Dogs barking and everything.
All right, one more for prosperity. I'm going to remind you that dogs bark at nothing for no reason. Okay. Second thing is that she's walking around her house, like sort of showing us that there's nobody in her house anywhere, but she only shows us one room. She shows us the living room. Okay. She doesn't show us the bathroom that's right next to her bedroom. She doesn't show us the hall closet next to her bedroom. She doesn't show us what's in the next room over. We're led to believe that there's no one there because she's like energetically showing us that there's no one there. But the fact of the matter is that it's at this point, like conjecture, like we only have evidence for one particular room and not a substantiable, you know, you didn't like give us a whole house tour, right? I'm fairly certain Nick and I already debunked this one once before, but there is a bathroom on the right side of her bedroom there. And there's somebody inside that bedroom who is opening the door, reaching out, jiggling the handle, opening the door handle, and then closing the door before she comes out. She's only showing us the one room, but she's not showing us the rooms that have immediate access to those door handles. It's stupid.
The door is clearly one that requires you to turn the handle before opening, so it wouldn't have been pushed open, and you can see someone or something rattling the doorknob before it slides open. You already know that there's no one in the house but her. And
yeah, no, we only know that there's nobody in the living room except the dog. Jury's out on the bathroom, though. I mean, jury's in. What's the opposite of the jury's out? We know for a fact there's somebody in that bathroom. That's all I'm saying.
You would have heard the footsteps or seen the shadow of someone if they were helping her fake the video.
Yeah, that would only work if they were in like constant frame, like if they were actually like in frame to see the shadows. The footsteps, though, we wouldn't hear that either unless they were like clomping their way down the hall or running like at full pace. Especially with like our modern phones, like if she's using an iPhone or like one of the more modern Google Pros, they basically they isolate your audio. It's like a cinematic sort of dealio going on. So that's unsubstantiated claims right there, if I ever heard one.
And why are the dogs barking so urgently? Can they sense something none of us can see?
3 more to go. I've been working. I have been doing this particular fucking episode for like a couple of weeks because it was so long. I was like, I might as well just cover every single video in this and make it its own episode, you know, do a couple each episode. And this has been, I know at the beginning it was only like 15 episodes or 15 clips, but like there's a lot to say about these things and I really stretched it out. I might not be able to get this one to 20 minutes, so we're gonna have to go look for another video and cram it in at the very end there, just to like pad out the runtime. But at this point, I am stoked to move on to something else, and I can only imagine how Nick felt in Slapped Hell.
Remember when you were a kid and everyone around you had some kind of spooky legend surrounding a haunted house?
Those were the best of times. Every single story you tell. I'll tell you one right now. Let's pad out the runtime. When Nick and I were really young, we used to live in Brampton, and at the time there was a lot of flooding happening from like I guess like I don't know, maybe a storm or something. Ended up flooding a park that we called Queen's Park. I'm not sure what that park actually was, but at the time the rivers had like rose and like flooded the entire area. And the story going around to everybody at the time, all the kids at the schools we were going to, was that Barronwood Forest had, and Barronwood Forest is just a strip of like trees. It's not actually a forest, but it's where all the kids would hang out. They'd, you know, make fire pits. Some people camped in that little bushel of trees, like the teenagers would go camping there and drink and stuff. Anyway, so when we were kids, this the river had flooded at one point and was like depositing ice sheets like everywhere. And a couple of the kids, like a couple of the older kids, rode tractor tire inner tubes down the river, all the way down to Loafer's Lake. That was legendary. But no, so like the local legend was, or the legend at the school was, that if you went to Barronwood Forest at a particular time, because of how high the water was, the entire camping area was submerged underwater. But you would see a blue flame under the water. And we tried to get out of our house late at night so many times to try to go and go and see that. We never ended up getting there. Another cool thing about Barronwood Forest was there's a tunnel there. It's sort of like a what do you call like a sewer drain or a storm drain. But it basically deposits all the water, like accumulated water, flows out of that storm drain and then down to the river down below. But legend was that if we climbed through that grate, or we got through that grate and we cut that grate open, like a lot of the kids would go there and wrench on that gate. We eventually got it open and we were able to get into the tunnel. And so you'd have to squeeze through the bars, and the bars were like, you know, only a kid could get through there. But if you went far enough in there, you'd find a Jersey Devil. Like a Jersey Devil creature was in there. And you know it was in there because you kept hearing like this like growling noise, which turned out to just be the cars driving over the road above. But as a kid, it was such a wonderfully fantastic thing. And so during the storms, enough water had actually like pushed through there that it ripped the gate, the whole giant gate off of the manhole, off the tunnel, and had sent it careening down into the river below. And you could see it to this day. I guarantee if you go there, the grate is still down there at the bottom of the thing. They've probably replaced the gate at some point, and maybe even dragged it all the way back up and reattached it. It was a very heavy gate. But yeah, when that happened, the legend was that the Jersey Devil had escaped the cage, had like busted out of the cage and was terrorizing the neighborhood. So again, when we were kids, we wanted to go out and hunt the Jersey Devil all night, every night. And there were really cool things that happened that were totally like probably explainable. Like for instance, we used to have this fort in the middle of a field that was we had dragged like couches from people's garbages and like barrels and stuff like that. We took log planks and we had flattened out the grass so that we can make rooms, and then we had decorated those rooms with different, you know, things. Like the couches and chairs and you know, whatever furniture we managed to pull from the garbage and build a fort out there. And we had a pretty sizable fort. It was pretty awesome. But at one point, the entire fort was scuttled. Somebody had come through and flipped all the couches over and tore up all of our posters and stuff that we had collected and stuck to pieces of plywood. And we were like genuinely convinced that that was the Jersey Devil. And so we were out there as late as we could. You know, we weren't technically allowed to be out past the when the streetlights came on. Sometimes we pushed it, and our parents would have to come look for us. But that was because we were hunting the Jersey Devil in Brampton. As an adult, it seems like a little silly, obviously, but the child whimsy that we had at the time, it was such a an amazing time in our lives. You know, we were out in the bushes, like swinging sticks around, no iPad in sight, you know, no cell phones in sight. I didn't even get my first cell phone until like I was like, I don't know, 16 or something, and it was a Motorola Razr flip phone. We didn't have the technology that kept us indoors like the kids have today. We were out there hunting demons, hunting ghosts, hunting the paranormal, and it was just such an amazing time with our friends. And I really wish that people could experience that now. That's why Nick and I do this. We have that whimsy. We still have that passion for the paranormal. And even though we're debunking these videos constantly, I still hold out hope that one day it'll be an entirely different channel and we'll be hunting those ghosts and we'll be finding some circumstantial, like serious evidence and like discovering the unknown. Like that's something I would love to do. I don't want to sit here and debunk ghost videos all the time. I want to go to the location and I want to debunk them in person and then be like, I'm going to tell you why this one's bullshit because this one's real. You know what I'm saying? It would be so amazing.
All the dares for you to spend the night stuck in an abandoned house, supposedly brimming with everyone's worst nightmares incarnate. Well, this guy over on Blessed Barter's TV decided to take those dares well into adulthood. And he didn't just stay overnight. He stayed for a whole week. He did a full 7 days shacked up with the ghoulies and ghosties of an old fabled building.
I am so down for this. This is going to be amazing. And given the fact that there's only like a couple of minutes left of this video, I don't know how you took 7 days of investigation and crammed it into the last like 2 minutes of your video. So I'm going to have to go and look at this guy's original content. I have his channel now, so maybe I'll do some covering for that for the rest of October and really dig into what he's doing because that sounds like fun.
And it's not going to be a surprise to you that he had an absolutely hair-raising terrible time. To make things even worse, somehow there's a creepy old doll involved, just watching from the kitchen table.
Didn't he say this was an abandoned property? Didn't he say he was in an abandoned haunted house or something? I swear to God, if I go back, he said the place was abandoned and he spent a whole week there. I might be misremembering what he said, but this place looks like perfectly furnished. You know?
A ver si enfoca esto. Ahí está.
According to him, whatever entity lurks inside the house.
Oh, it's that guy. Yeah. There's like dogs or something. You can hear at one point dogs walking on the ground, and the door opens and closes on its own at some point. We already debunked this one in a previous video. If you guys are new here, this has been well debunked. But I'll probably still cover a couple of his videos because, you know, he seems to have a decent amount of subscribers and people are following him. So having his name in our titles and me tearing apart all of his videos would probably do pretty well for our channel.
Responds aggressively, and he thinks that Hellspawn, doll, has something to do with it. Doesn't help that whenever he points the camera at the doll, it struggles to focus.
Two things. First thing pertains to the video. Yeah, it struggles to focus because it's a low light situation, so it's difficult for it to actually like pick up on all the details. So it's struggling to focus because it's lacking the reference. You can see how dark it is in the room. He's even got like a FLIR type filter over it. Second thing, I didn't realize that I had my clip cropped, and so there's actually like 20 more minutes worth of footage there. So maybe there is more to this video than there.
But regardless, he gets on with his 6th day in the house, trying all sorts of methods to make contact, but it turns out that he didn't even need to bother with all of that, because all hell broke loose without any equipment needed.
Yeah, but it took like 6 days for all hell to break out. Of course he needed the equipment.
Lo prometo. Esto me está sobrepasando, tío. ¡Eh! ¡Otra vez no puede ser!
Don't be fooled, that cabinet was likely open to begin with. Also, I just want to say, you like my sweater? This one kind of looks like a duck.
Dios mío, ¿qué cojones está está ocurriendo, por Dios? Por Dios bendito de mi alma.
Look, there's no one inside. Obviously there's a ghost here because the ghost opened the door. I didn't do it. I was in the other room. It definitely wasn't open on its own beforehand.
Detector.
Now rewind the clip, rewind it, and show me when you were in the other room where you heard that same sound in your other camera. You just cut from one to the other, okay? Those two clips can be days apart. Could be on the first day, could be the second day, could be the third, fourth, fifth, or sixth. There's no clock there. There's no measure of time present in the video that is inferring or telling us that those two clips happened at the same time. While he was investigating the one, the other happened. No, we don't see that. It just cuts from one video to the doll shifting and then back to him, and we're left to believe that the doll shifted in those times. Now, the fact of the matter is that because he put that cut in and there's no raw file of it, we're not going to see him go from one room where the doll was clearly sitting still, picks up his camera, goes into the other room, messes with the door, and then in one shot comes back and goes, oh my god, the doll moved, let's check the other camera, and then without cutting. The moment you cut, all credibility is lost. The fact that we had a shift in a change in the scene there indicates that the doll moving could have happened at any time, which means what probably happened was he filmed himself walking around and then doing the little stuff with the door over there, and then turned off his camera, went over to the doll, did the shifty stuff with the doll, went back to the room, and then continued to film, or however he wanted to do that. There's absolutely no evidence currently that says that doll moved while he was investigating the other room. There's no evidence. There was a cut. That's it. We're done here.
Dios mío.
First of all, who or what opened that cupboard door?
Hey.
There's nowhere for anyone to hide in there. In the cupboard, or the actual room for that matter. It's so small.
This is what I keep telling Nick. It would be so easy for us to be paranormal hunters and do the exact same kind of thing because we are so much smarter than these people. And the fact that there are people out there like 100,000 views, 200,000 views on this video, it's a full-length video. He's probably making bank off this video. We make 36 cents a day off the videos that we post, and we post like 1,000 videos. So the fact of the matter is that we could literally go out to any location and pretend like ghosts are there. You'll never see them on camera. Oh, I heard something. What was that noise? Oh, this object that I had moved previously is moved right now. Hey, my Jacqueline's growing a new leaf. Jeez, that's great. That was dead. That was dead. Hang on. It's back. No, it like legit died. I repotted this, and there were like 2 nodes, so I cut the nodes in half, and I put one in one pot and put one in the other pot, and they both started to suffer. The other one sort of stabilized, and I was like, thank Christ, this is a $20 plant. And look, it's a new leaf. Oh, right, ghosts.
And don't even get me started on the doll. There's no shadows cast on or around the table, or the porcelain nightmare.
I'm so proud of you. The doll's on a string, and the coffee's kicking in.
So what the hell happened? How did it move like that? Around in almost a perfect semicircle. When he sat down and tried to collect his thoughts after all of that mess, he realized that the whole thing might be more serious than he first thought.
Nope. That's a composite shot. I'm gonna look at this a little bit closer. I'm pretty sure that's a composite shot. I'm pretty sure I can see the line in the ground too. Actually, 100% that's a composite shot. Check it out. 100% this is a composite shot. If you pay close attention behind my little scrubber here, you can see there's a box that's around that chair as it moves. Watch. Boom. Let's pause it. You see the box? You see the box? This is a composite shot. He's keyed this in, and he's in the room over here. We have like a sort of like a flare around this this sort of light here, which is interrupted on the floor here by the shadow of the chair, but that light is coming from above, not to the front. So I'm gonna guess that this is a composite shot. Like, the fact of the matter is, you know what? It could even be like half the screen. It could be like he's over here. He hasn't moved his camera. He's done a composite shot here. He showed himself on the couch over here, and then is pulling it over here, pulling the chair into the room here by its leg. It turns towards the door frame, towards that open door, and so I'm gonna hazard a guess to say that's what's happening here. You know, if we keep watching, we'll probably find that that I'm correct. Let's check it out.
Dios mío. Dios mío de mi alma.
So this entity doesn't take kindly to people taking a moment to themselves. Noted. After a while, this guy starts to lose his grip on reality, but the four walls weren't finished with him yet.
Changing the scene back and forth gives him an opportunity to hide any kind of cut or scene reset. So bear in mind that whenever that happens, there is a chance that he's resetting the entire scene. We would have to like mask or sort of keyframe where he is to determine if he shifts ever so slightly each time. But every time he changes from one camera to the other, there's an opportunity to hide an entire scene, reset, or, you know, any amount of time in between there. We don't see a clock present, so we're not like able to rationalize the transit of time between these two clips.
No puedo más, tío.
This is also a composite shot. We can see that he is always on the left side of the field. Camera doesn't move, the references don't move. He's sliced the video in half, and he's closed one door and then closed the other door. You can put as many composite shots as you want in one scene. It doesn't matter. It could be, you know, 700 composite shots in one scene. As long as you're able to blend them all together realistically or make it look like they're not composite shots, it's possible. And so what we have here is probably he's chroma keyed, or he's chroma keyed. He's split the video down the middle in half. So we've got the right side of the room is on one frame, the left side of the room is on another frame, and then he split the two doors right in half. And now he's got, you know, he's just walking into one room, slamming the door, walking into another room, slamming the door, and then stitching all those videos together. That's 100% what's happening here. You could even add a sort of low light FLIR sort of filter over top of it to blend or mask all that stuff together. It looks like I am over 20 minutes, so let's try to wrap this up as quickly as possible.
How the hell did that happen? He springs up to investigate and ends up drawn back to the doll.
Dios mío. ¿Estás ahí? ¡Ay! ¡Hostia! ¡Hostia, hostia! ¡Hostia! Dios mío, lo que acaba de pasarme, Dios mío.
Look at that, I shaved some time out of that. So he hears some footsteps behind him. We can't hear them, there's just subtitles, and then we're led to believe that there are footsteps. He gets a little agitated about that. The next thing happens is he gets knocked over, which he could just fall over on his own. It doesn't seem like anybody pushed him over, especially considering the way that he fell. Okay, and then for some reason, he just, in the middle of the action, pastes like the subscribe button right over top of his video, which is really stupid. It kind of like removes the, what do you call, the connection that we have with the clip. It's almost like lore breaking, what do you call that? Immersion breaking. So that was really frustrating. And then the last clip we see, I think he's basically just like losing his marbles, basically. Everything there could be staged really simply. The way that he fell was really stupid. It almost seemed like he was like, oh, gently fell. It'd be different if he was walking forward and he got pushed backwards and landed on his back, because then there would be some real danger there. But everything that he did there and everything that we saw was low stakes. So it's stupid to me.
No me fastidie. No me fastidie, por Dios. Dios mío. Está ahí. Lo acabo de escuchar. Me lo ha dicho.
all I did there was cut the silences out. We didn't hear, even with headphones in, I didn't hear anything from that. So I didn't hear any ghostly voices or anything like that. So we're led to believe that it's there because he put a subtitle down there. That's misdirection. There's no ghost here. It's just a man having an acting fit and trying to make it seem like there's something that there isn't. Okay, moving on. Yeah, so there was actually nothing more. He basically just wakes up in the morning and leaves the house. So what we're looking at here is a collection, and a very clever collection, of composite shots. What is a composite shot? Well, a composite shot is basically a large viewable area that stays in a particular reference frame. And all you have to do is slice the video down the middle, or like crop left or crop right, and then essentially you stitch other videos on top of that that are filmed in the same scene. So what I would do is I would have a large scene where I'm sitting on the left. He never goes to the right side of the scene on those clips, because that would break the composite shot. And all he would do is slice it right down the middle, and I would do my paranormal stuff on the video again, continue to roll, right? Same lighting, same everything, slam the door, and then what I do is I would crop the video so it was just that door slamming. The second door, same thing, crop the video so it's just that door slamming, and then just overlay them on top of the original video. If they're all lined up properly, it's very hard to find the cuts, but sometimes when you're looking at them, you can see a clear line where the pixels aren't interacting the same way. Maybe there's some static or some noise on the low light on one side, and the other side doesn't really match up. That's how you can find those cuts. But that's all he was doing. He was doing a composite shot. We can do a deeper breakdown of that, but I'm pressed for time because I'm actually filming this in the morning and I have to go to work. So we're going to end this one here. We're well over 20 minutes. It's one of my longer videos this month, and I hope you enjoyed. If you did, hit that subscribe button. Consider joining the channel. If you subscribe to the, the Pseudo Slayer tier, you get access to our Discord, which is off screen right now. Where you can talk and chat with some really like-minded people. We post memes, we post our pets, our lives, our plants, and we have a great time there. We're going to get a little bit more active in there, but right now we only have 5 people, so it's a little bit slower. But as our channel grows and as we get more people coming into the channel, I'm sure that Discord will start popping off, and it'll be a fantastic place for everybody. That being said, we are over 1,100 subscribers now, which is fantastic. We are on our ever persistent march towards the 1 million subscriber mark. I know that's a really long ways off, but we're here for the long haul. We're doing this because we like this. Nick's doing this because he likes 36 cents every day. Cool. All right. Check out this cool end clip that Nick made, and I'll see you on in 2 days. All right. Okay. I love you. Bye. That was the wrong button.
We cracked the code. We broke the spell. Another myth debunked so well. Till next time, don't be deceived. Stay sharp, stay smart. Believe in what's believed. Truth wins out every time. Truth wins out every time.